here if you're a man, right? Yes, that rare breed now, a man. Well, the bottom line is you've got a real choice if you want your hair cutting. And literally you can find 5, 6, 7 in certain areas in literally the outside of London, you know, the inner London bits as it were. Well, you can get up to 20 Turkish barbers. It's incredible. Do you remember, fellas, when you couldn't find a barber you liked and then you'd have to wait ages? Well, now there's one every second door. But as we all are very, very much aware, it would appear that these barbers are not all they seem. It appears, according to reports that are literally splashed all over the media, that they could be, dare I say the word, money laundering. Oh yes, and apparently the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, is supposedly going to be knocking down hard on these people, already sending police in to deal with it. If we saw the police of late, of course, dancing along with rainbow flags to choreographed tunes from Kylie Minogue, don't expect too much, you understand what I'm saying? But are the barbers really being cut short? As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time today. Nice to have your company, whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying though, guys? It's like now you can literally find endless barbers wherever you are, up and down the high street. And seemingly, they're all well-equipped shops with the latest technology, but not too many of these. You know what I mean? You and I, customers. And I've been in a couple of these, I'm sure you have, and you just get the feeling, don't you, that these people are not really adept at actually cutting hair. One guy, I said, you know, where did you train? He could barely speak English. I was getting a bit nervous, you know, you've got a cutthroat razor. And I thought, should this man really be allowed near my scalp? I quickly said, oh, I'll just take this phone call and zipped off out, you know what I'm saying? But here's where it gets really interesting, because it's actually not just barbers anymore. Oh no, I can tell you that there's another menace on the high street, one that really you could say you've had your fill of, the dentist. Who does not like going to the dentist? I think that could be most of us, in fact. Now there's another money laundering scheme. And my experience of a dentist recently was this. I booked an appointment for an emergency sort of, you know, checkup, all that sort of stuff, fill in, fill out, you know, the usual thing. Turned up, and suddenly the person that was going to do everything, no, they couldn't. And despite there being 6 or 7 staff in this dentist, right, nobody could actually do this dental work, which was going to be a very hefty bill, let me tell you. Suddenly I was told I could make an appointment. This was over the festive season, I might point out, 4 or 5 days later. Could this person do it? Well, they'd have to check and see. You see how vague this was. Looking at the sort of dentist outside, what I noticed was it was all about gum shields and grips and, you know, Botox and fillers. Very little about dentistry. And then the penny dropped. Now, we have a major dentist shortage over here in the United Kingdom. People can't get on the NHS waiting list, but surprisingly, this dentist did not operate Saturday or Sunday. And even worse than this, chums, they have an hour for lunch. In this climate, in this day and age, who really has an hour for lunch? Did a little bit of investigating, and seemingly it's the same team that work in the other town literally across the road. Exactly the same doctors or dentists, whatever you want to call them. So what's clearly obvious is that these people perhaps maybe have a trained Botox person in there, a technician or something, but there's very little dentistry work going on. And my advice to you would be very careful, because in the end, a colleague of mine had a filling done and it fell out within minutes, right? A couple of hours of getting home, and they weren't prepared to put that back in or indeed fix it without being paid again. You understand how this works. So while people are talking about the world of Turkish barbers and their money laundering schemes, allegedly, should we now be casting our eyes, Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, onto the world also, literally, of the dentist? Is there anything that's not making a racket on the high street, apart from you and I? Neil Sean in the very heart of Leeds.